Welcome to episode 1 of my Houston Texans Franchise Rebuild. Head coach David Culley has retired and head coach Tyler Knight has taken over the Houston Texans. So, how I set this up is I started at week 13 because that's as late as you can start in Madden right now for some reason, even though as of recording this it is the Monday after week 14. I couldn't actually start in week 14. Thanks EA for that. Glad I pre-ordered your game. But I started in week 13 and I win all of the correct games here, so obviously they're not going to be the right scores. And then for week 14 I did everything I could up until the Monday night game, which as of recording, Rams at Cardinals for week 14 has not been played yet. And then I simulated the rest of the season. If you want to take a look at the playoff picture, here it is. Just highlights here, I guess, are who made the playoffs, and that the Super Bowl is the number 1 seed Kansas City Chiefs against the number 2 seed Arizona Cardinals. I will go over the team very quickly, but I imagine a lot of it is about to change with the upcoming offseason. First, at quarterback, we have Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills. I will be trading Deshaun Watson. We will just pretend all of his legal stuff got handled and he's free to play, but he still wants to trade out of Houston, so I will be trading him. Running back is a bit of a concern. 30-year-old David Johnson, then you got Rex Burkhead, Jalen Samuels, Royce Freeman, and Scotty Phillips. Wide receiver, I still feel Brandon Cooks will be able to be a decent wide receiver 1 for next season. So I will be looking for a wide receiver 2 or a wide receiver 1 in waiting. But Brandon Cooks is only 28 years old and 86 overall. Granted, his morale is a little down right now because I think we only went like 3-14, so not great. Tight end, you had 30-year-old Jordan Akins and 22-year-old Brevin Jordan. Since he's only 22, he will probably stay on the team. I don't know how much better he's going to get with a normal dev trait. Left tackle is probably the only solid piece on this team right now. 89 overall, Laramie Tunsil. Left guard, 71 overall, Titus Howard. Center, Justin Britt, and past him, these guys probably aren't even that serviceable. Right guard, Max Sharping. Right tackle, Marcus Cannon, who is, where's his age? 34 years old. So, and he's a $6 million cap hit. I imagine trading Deshaun Watson's going to be a decent dead cap hit, so we may need to free up as much cap space as possible. So defense is obviously a concern for this team. 26-year-old, 72 overall Jacob Martin is our left end. At right end, we have 25-year-old, 75 overall Jonathan Greenard. Defensive tackle, we have 27-year-old Malik Collins, who's 73 overall, and 24-year-old Russell Blacklock, who's 71. Left outside linebacker is Camus Grugier-Hill. The only reason I know how to pronounce that is because he played for Philadelphia, and I am an Eagles fan. Middle linebacker, Christian Kirksey. And Eric Wilson. I forgot the Eagles actually cut him this season. Right outside linebacker, Zach Cunningham. Defensive back, Desmond King, 82 overall. And then past that, probably no one we want on the outside guarding anyone that is a serviceable wide receiver 2. Free safety, Justin Reed. Strong safety, Eric Murray. Kicker, Kyami Fairbairn and Austin McGinnis. Punter, Cameron Johnson. 4 draft picks. As of right now, we have the number 2 pick in the draft, and then just to go from there, we have an extra 3rd. We have the Rams 4th. We don't have a 4th round pick. We have the Niners 6th and the Packers 6th, and that is it. The Texans don't actually have a pick past the 3rd round. Let's take a look at some stats from this season. Tyrod Taylor ended with 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Davis Mills ended with 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So, not a great performance from either one of these guys. We will definitely be looking to add a quarterback, hopefully with that number 2 overall pick. Rushing-wise, David Johnson, 419 yards on 130 carries, only got 3.2 yards a carry. Tyrod Taylor led the team in rushing touchdowns with 3. Receiving-wise, Brandon Cooks had 84 receptions. The next closest person is Chris Conley with 39. We definitely need to get whoever our quarterback is at least one more weapon. Defensively, Jonathan Greenard did have 9.5 sacks, so that's pretty solid. For interceptions, Desmond King had 4, which, once again, very solid. Justin Reed had 3. Lonnie Johnson had 3. All right, looking at the league leaders, Tom Brady ended with 5,400 yards, 51 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. Dear God, that man does not age. Touchdowns, Patrick Mahomes ended 2nd with 45, so Brady also led the league in passing touchdowns. Herbert ended with 40. Stafford ended with 39. Aaron Rodgers, 36 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Kirk Cousins, 35 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Zach Wilson does lead the league in interceptions with 22 of them, followed by Tannehill, who had 21. Rushing-wise, Jonathan Taylor ended with 1,721 yards and 19 touchdowns. Just an absolutely absurd year from him. Also leading the league in rushing touchdowns, obviously. Ezekiel Elliott had 15 touchdowns for 1,300 yards. Mixon, 13 touchdowns for 1,400 yards. Nick Chubb, 11 for 14. Receiving-wise, Cooper Kupp ended with 1,609 yards and 12 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill with 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. But Mike Evans led the league in receiving touchdowns with 15. Over on the other side of the ball, Myles Garrett led the league in sacks with 18.5, followed by Matthew Judon, who got 16.5. J.C. Jackson and Trayvon Diggs both tie for the league lead in interceptions with 8. Your MVP, if you didn't see this coming, Tom Brady. 51 touchdowns, 5,400 yards. Yeah, it's obvious. Coach of the Year is Mike McCarthy. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Patrick Mahomes. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Tom Brady. AFC Defensive Player of the Year goes to TJ Watt. NFC goes to Nick Bosa. I still don't know why EA splits the Rookie of the Year award between AFC and NFC. It's a little weird to me. But AFC Rookie of the Year or Offensive Rookie of the Year is Mac Jones. NFC is Justin Fields. Defensive Rookie of the Year on the AFC side is Nick Bolton. NFC side is Micah Parsons. Not a shock at all. Now let's run down the rest of the AFC awards. Best quarterback goes to Patrick Mahomes. Best running back goes to Jonathan Taylor. Best receiver, Tyreek Hill. Best O-line, Quentin Nelson. Best D-line, Myles Garrett. Best linebacker, TJ Watt. Best DB, J.C. Jackson. Best kicker, Chris Boswell. Over on the NFC side, Tom Brady wins best quarterback. Best running back goes to Zeke. Best wide receiver goes to Cooper Kupp. Best O-line goes to Zach Martin. Best D-line goes to Nick Bosa. Best linebacker goes to Hassan Reddick. Kind of surprised it's not Parsons. Best DB goes to Trayvon Diggs. And best kicker goes to Jake Elliott. So because I started this in the middle of the season, apparently you don't get a lot from the scouts if you do that. So we know very little about any of these prospects. I believe the highest we might have is a 50% on some people. We have like Brandon Miller, who we know a little bit about. But obviously I will be looking at quarterbacks here. So we have Joe Spitzer out of Clemson, RJ Holcomb out of California, and Kenny Cohen out of Vanderbilt. We also have Caleb Seary out of Georgia, who says he's a round one talent. Hopefully I'm able to learn a little bit more about the quarterbacks. I don't really know how much I'll get to learn about them. But right now, we're going to go ahead and fill our staff because I did fire the offensive and defensive coordinator. So I did change our playbook and our schemes from the Texans base set. The offensive and defensive playbook I made Cliff Kingsbury's because I kind of want to go with like he's more from a college-like offense. We'll just say we pulled Tyler Knight out of college. Why not? But he has an air raid offense and a base 4-3 defense. And none of these coordinators fit that scheme at all. I don't know if that affects how well the offense plays or not. I doubt EA went that in detail to this. Okay, we're going to hire Ethan Slaughter, who has the balanced pass offensive playbook. I don't really think it'll matter in terms of how we run the offense because once again, I don't know how much EA put into this. But we'll look at our defensive coordinator options now. I at least want them to have a 4-3 scheme. I know I did a base 4-3, and none of them have that. You know, we'll hire Sammy Rios, who runs a 4-3 quarter scheme, but his defensive playbook is Sean McDermott. Once again, don't really know if that's going to matter, but we do get some staff points from that, and we'll just go ahead and use that on these guys. Okay, so here's the staff points I used on... Wow, I didn't even give their name in this? I don't remember his name. Okay, now that I looked at his name, here are the staff points that I used on Ethan Slaughter. He got the boost of boost impact blocking for tight ends by 3 and boost run block power for offensive linemen by 1. Boost entry rating for all offensive players by 4 and boost catch and traffic for wide receivers by 1. Okay, so Sammy Rios got the boost tackle for linebackers by 1 and boost block shedding for defensive ends by 3. And then boost injury rating and boost play rec for safeties. The only thing on the personnel I have is, 5% discount on players under 80 overall on Resign. Will hopefully help us get some of these guys because if you didn't notice, there were not a lot of 80 overalls. I also do have the pre-order bonus from pre-ordering the game, but I turned that off for this because I didn't want to start with 60 points already. Okay, now I can advance to the next week, and we can see who won the Super Bowl. And the Kansas City Chiefs win 38-22. Patrick Mahomes threw 2 touchdowns. Kyler Murray threw 2 touchdowns. Neither threw a pick. Rushing-wise, not too much happened. James Conner ran for 1. Darrell Williams ran for 1. And Demarcus Robinson ran for 2. Receiving-wise, Hardman caught 7 passes for 122 yards. Christian Kirk caught 8 for 83 and a score. Demarcus Robinson caught 5 for 60. They kind of shut DeAndre Hopkins down. So as you can see in the 2021 season recap, the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, like I showed, won the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes won Super Bowl MVP, and then you have all of the awards on the right side. All right, so now we have a mock draft that we can look at. Let's see what this shows. Shows Joe Spitzer going 1, which kind of sucks for us. Marquis Wilkins going 2. Where's the next quarterback going? It's kind of always what I look at. I want to see where the next QB is going. RJ Holcomb to the Steelers. Is that the last? No, and then Kenny Cohen to the football team. And then that Georgia quarterback is not in this one. Okay. Okay, now looking at the 2021 retirements, we're going to look through here for any big names. Andy Lee retired after 18 years. Antonio Brown retires. Calais Campbell retires. Mercedes Lewis. Aaron Rodgers retires. Well, that is huge for Green Bay. Andrew Whitworth retired. Ryan Fitzpatrick retires. And if you hear my dog barking in the background, I apologize. No other big names that I am seeing off the bat. There we go. Deshaun Jackson, Richie Incognito, Nate Solder, Josh Norman, Jason Peters, Matthew Slater, Dustin Colquitt. Adrian Peterson finally retires. Alfred Morris. Tim Tebow retires after 7 years. Josh Johnson, Joe Webb. I will never forgive Joe Webb. I believe it was a Thursday night game. He walked into Philadelphia and beat us. I think we went to the playoffs that year. I think it may have been the year Vic was our quarterback and we went like 10-6 and lost in the first round of the Packers. I think it was that year. Cannot guarantee that, but I'm pretty sure we lost to Joe Webb. Larry Fitzgerald retires. Frank Gore, Geno Atkins, Adrian Claiborne, Golden Tate, Ryan Khalil. Alright, well that is everyone who retired. Okay, so now we can get into re-signing players and hopefully trading Deshaun Watson. And we can see some combine results, but first I want to see some draft stories. We will start with Clemson's Joe Spitzer wins the Heisman. Okay. Harvard wide receiver named Best FCS Player 2021. Harvard wide receiver Floyd Bryan spent the season hauling in touchdowns in his time today. FCS awards ceremony was spent hauling in the Player of the Year award. Defensive back Fleming dropping down boards amid injury concerns. Ellington re-aggravates leg injury out of combine. So LSU right end Forrest Ellington announced that a training injury was the reason behind his withdrawal from this year's combine. And stunning combine performance for Kentucky halfback Kai Potter. Okay, let's take a look at some of these combine results then. I kind of wish they would go a little more in depth into the combine because like we can see, like right here, we see all of his physical traits, which is great. But they do the throwing drills at the combine. I want to see what that stuff is. I kind of wish we could watch it at least. So he's got okay traits. What do we know about him? A, throw accuracy deep, A, trucking, A, awareness. I mean, he's probably going number 1, but I feel like we need to be ready if he doesn't. I'm not going to trade up with Detroit to take him. Here's who they have us mock to take. Marquis Wilkins. What do we know about him? He's got decent speed. A, awareness, B, finesse, A, hit power, C, zone coverage. I'm not going to take a look at everyone here, but we'll look around. We have cornerback George Norton, a 4.39 40. A catching, A injury, C kick return, C play rec. I really wish I could see what his coverage was. That'd be nice to know. I'm glad he can catch, I guess. And we got R.J. Holcomb. What do we know about him? Marginal speedy is not a runner. And we know none of his throwing traits. That's awesome. What do we know about Kenny Cohen? Do we know anything? Apparently there's not a lot of speedy quarterbacks in this draft because he ran a 4.69 and got third. A carry and A injury, A throw accuracy deep. So we know, I believe, the throw accuracy of Spitzer and Cohen. And since he won the Heisman, he's, I believe, guaranteed to have at least a star dev trait. Alright, so my first screw up as head coach is I may have skipped past resigning players. Not a huge deal, because I was probably going to let most of them walk anyway, because we're going to massively overhaul this roster. We have $50 million in cap space. We can now jump right into signing free agents. It may have re-signed some of them already, because I did, whenever I simulated the season, I had it set to auto-sign people. Like, I just let the CPU do everything up until the moment I took over. But first, let's find someone who wants Deshaun Watson. Alright, I do not know if the Giants are going to take this, but just to get it completely out of the way, right now, this is my first offer. Deshaun Watson to the New York Giants for the 4th and 5th overall pick. The asking price for the Texans in real life is 3 first-rounders. I'm asking 2 in the top 5 this year, and you get your quarterback, New York. Not enough. Okay. Okay, here's what I'm going to offer Miami, because this is actually one of the places that Deshaun said he would waive his no-trade clause, so it's actually sort of realistic. The 10th overall pick this year, a 2nd-round pick this year, and a 1st-round pick next year. And they don't want to do it. Okay, taking a little less here. 2 first-round picks, obviously 10th overall this year, round 1 pick next year, and a round 4 pick this year. They still don't want that, really. Okay, try number 3 to Miami. The 10th overall pick this year, a 2nd-round pick this year, and a 4th-round pick this year. Alright, so we got that. Obviously, I wanted to get 2 first-round picks, but I don't really think it was going to happen. Okay, Denver needs a right tackle. It's their top need. Let's just see if they give me a 5th-round pick for Marcus Cannon. Alright then, got rid of that and saved $6 million in cap space. Really, the only other person we could probably get rid of is Brandon Cooks, but if we get rid of Cooks, we really don't have a wide receiver to throw to next season. So now let's take a look at the free agents. Looks like Devontae Adams might be going to Jacksonville or New York. None of the quarterbacks have been offered yet. We may offer one of these QBs something small, but most likely if I don't take a quarterback in the draft, which I'm 99% sure I will take a QB, I would rather just roll with Davis Mills next season. Before I get too heavy into the free agents, I want to check where this running back is supposed to go. Around 1 to 2 projection. So he's projected to be the top running back in the class. 4.52. Alright, so I went through and threw a few offers at people. I tried not to get into bidding wars with anybody, so none of these players have any bids except us. First, I'm trying to go for Robert Tonyan. DJ Chark. I really think DJ Chark needs to be our primary goal here. I don't like, from what I can see of any of the receivers, I don't think we're going to be in a position to take one of the top ones. So if we can get DJ Chark, I think Cooks and Chark will make a really good combination for whoever our quarterback is. Daniel Carlson, because like I said, I'm replacing the kicker. Travarius Ward, Tariq Cohen, Landon Collins, Kyle Long, just because I would rather start a 33-year-old Kyle Long at right guard than a 69 overall Max Sharping. But obviously if we don't get Kyle Long, we may have to go with him. DJ Fluker at right tackle, and then Mason Cole at center. These two are to get some depth. He is to probably start. Alright, looking at the pro day. Joe Spitzer. Let's see if we got anything new from him. He's a little faster at his pro day, but we did not get any new stats from what I can tell, which slightly bothers me. I feel like pro day needs to add a little bit of the percentage, because really it's just like another combine. You can see how fast these guys are. So I really don't think we're going to learn anything from that. But taking a look at the second mock draft, R.J. Holcomb is now the number 1 pick, followed by Joe Spitzer. Or Spitzer. Not really sure how I'm supposed to say that. But I feel like now we need to scout both of these guys, because we could have our pick. Where's the other quarterback? Is he still projected to go? Yeah, he's still projected to go all the way to 20 to Washington. and still no other QB on the board. Nothing new in the draft stories, so I don't know why he jumped that far up the board. But taking a look at who we got DJ Chark, Kyle Long, and Landon Collins. I really feel like we got some nice pieces to add to this team now. Taking a look at some of the other league signings, Devontae Adams is a Jaguar, Teron Armstead is going to Washington, Von Miller is a Steeler, so they've just paired Von Miller with TJ Watt. Terrifying. Marcus Williams is an Eagle, Will Fuller is a Bear, Michael Gallup is a Lion, Devondre Campbell is a Lion, Christian Kirk is a Packer. That seems to be all the top guys at least. No QB signed yet? Oh no, some have been signed. Kyle Allen, Nick Mullins, Dwayne Haskins, Mason Rudolph, PJ Walker, Chris Streveler, Kurt Benkert, Jake Luton, Jamie Newman. Okay, so no big names have yet to be signed. Looks like Jameis is going to be a Jet, though. Looks like they are probably going to give up on Zach Wilson immediately because EA's logic is flawless. Marcus Mariota is probably going to be a Steeler, and no one else really has bid. Oh, no. Taysom Hill has a bid to go to the Vikings. Taking a look at my negotiations. Tanyan's still here. We are probably not getting Ward now. Let's just pull away from that. We'll go look at corners and see if there's anyone else I want to add. He is not going to take this, but if I can get Jason Verrett on a 1-year prove that you don't die in the middle of the season deal, 0 points, I've never seen that. Never mind. Alright, so I'm coming back into the bidding for Travarius Ward. We'll have to pay a little bit more than what we were going to pay originally, but I still feel like he's one of the better options for us to pick up. Alright, we got DJ Fluker, Tariq Cohen, Ward rejected us, we got Daniel Carlson, and we got Cole, the center. So now I can go do this, and it won't clear up much space, but it should clear up some. Get rid of Kaimi Fairbairn. There is a cap penalty, but you know, what is a $1.5 million cap penalty or whatever it was compared to what we're eating for Deshaun Watson now? So we do have some private workouts now, so we may get a little more on these quarterbacks. So I'm going to scout all. I'm going to just bring them all in for private workouts because I want to make sure I get the quarterback pick correct. Okay, let's up this offer to Robert Tonyan just a bit because I feel like he's just not going to take it at his current value. I don't know what the points need to be at for him to take it, but I don't want him going to, because there's a chance they just don't sign. They just don't sign with anybody and we'll just go to free agency. And then someone else can pick him up. So he should accept that. And there's still a chance we'll pick up Jason Verrett because it looks like no one's even going to offer him a contract. Or Juju. Can I get Brandon Cooks, Juju, and DJ Chark? Juju is wanting a lot of money. Let's see if I can lowball Juju a bit. For like a 2-year deal. There's no way he'll take that, but I'll leave it there just in case. And this is the first time this session I've lost connection to EA servers. From what I've noticed, there's no really rhyme or reason that you get disconnected from EA servers. It just randomly happens. But Robert Tonyan does accept our offer, so now we have a tight end. And let's take a look at mock draft number 3. So RJ Holcomb is still projected to go to the Lions, Joe Spitzer to the Texans. Kenny Cohen is now projected to go to Philadelphia. So he has jumped up draft boards. And we have 80% on all these quarterbacks. So hopefully we can make the right decision. Let's view this free agency recap. So yeah, Juju ended up obviously not signing. So these will be the top guys that have not signed. I may have a shot at them. Sometimes the CPU signs them before you get a chance to, which is a little weird, but whatever. League signings. Anyone else at the top that we didn't notice? Well, Gronk is now a Bengal. Kareem Jackson's going to the Ravens. No one else, I don't think, as of note. But where are all the quarterbacks going? That's the one I always like to look at. So Jameis is going to be a Jet. Marcus Mariota is going to be a Steeler. Those are probably the only 2 guys starting. Well, Trubisky may start since Aaron Rodgers retired. But now that we've done that, let's see what we know about these quarterbacks. Joe Spitzer, or Spitzer. Not really sure yet. Probably going to go with Spitzer. We now know he has A, throw accuracy deep, A, mid, A, trucking, A, awareness. We don't know his short throw. Kind of concerns me. What does it say about him? Quick to take the check down, beautiful spiral on all of his passes. He needs to speed up internal clock in the pocket. Knows when to throw the ball away, will break the pocket occasionally to throw. Fast, prototypical throwing motion. Okay. Spitzer doesn't seem like a bad pick. RJ Holcomb. Never seen a window he won't throw into. Beautiful spiral on all of his passes. Decent ability to recognize pressure. Knows when to throw the ball away. Exclusively plays from the pocket. Fast, flick of the wrist throwing motion. And we still know, we even brought him in for a private workout and we know none of his accuracy, guys. Besides throw on the run. Alright, what about Kenny Cohen now that he's rocketing up draft boards? Once again, never seen a window he won't throw into. Beautiful spiral on all of his passes. Very antsy in the pocket. Knows when to throw the ball away. Loves to run and play outside structure. Fast, violent, over-the-top throwing motion. And we know he has A throw accuracy deep. We don't know his awareness, though. Alright, we are at the NFL draft. So we don't get to see the mock drafts anymore. Kind of forgot that. But never even saw who they were mocking for us to take with our 10th pick. That was probably a bad deal on my part. But let's just advance to the next pick. The Detroit Lions select RJ Holcomb, quarterback, California. What is everyone offering us for these picks? Fall back to 13. No, I wouldn't want to fall out of the top 10 of this draft. The Jets want to move up. I feel like the Jets want to take... Jets, I'm not going to trade with you because I feel like I know you want to take my quarterback. Philly would trade back. Miami would trade back. Miami wants 2023 picks. Nope. We're just going to make our pick. We are going to go with Heisman winning quarterback. Maybe? Okay, there we go. We're going to go with Heisman winning quarterback, Joe Spitzer. Who has, like I said, hidden dev trade. I think his thing was guaranteed to be at least a star dev trade. Alright, let's see who the Jets take. I'll probably look at the entire first round to see who everyone takes in the first, and then we'll start skipping to my picks. The Jets take Forrest Ellington. The Giants take Marquis Wilkins, and then I'm going to guess they followed up with the defensive back, George Norton. Philadelphia will take Kenny Cohen, so they have replaced Jalen Hurts. Or maybe not. We'll have to see how good that guy is. We'll go look at all of the quarterbacks after the draft. Or all of the first-round quarterbacks. But with their second pick, they take Ethan McClain, a left tackle to keep him standing. So I guess they're giving up on Jordan Mailata. Or maybe they're moving Mailata or McClain over to the right side for Lane Johnson. Jacksonville takes Matt Knox. And then the Panthers take Jimmy Campbell. Alright, so they took a middle linebacker. I kind of wanted to go middle linebacker. Didn't think he'd go that early. Let's see if we can get any other pick. From what I saw on the mocks that I saw of him, he was directed to go a little later. But once again, I forgot to check that late in the draft on the other mocks. So they're still wanting to give us the 13th. So we'd fall back 3 spots for the Browns. I still want a first-round pick this year, guys. Alright, we're actually going to take the pick from Atlanta to fall back 1 spot and pick up a 3rd-round pick for next year. Because this is not going to be a 1-year rebuild, and they take Rashad Fleming. Alright, we're going to make another trade. I'm going to trade with Minnesota to fall back another 8 spots, gain a 2nd this year and a 6th this year. I have a plan. I just don't know if it's going to work or not. There goes Marquise King. Darren Valentine. Jimmy Sharp. That was who I was going to take if I didn't like any of the trade offers. Brandon Miller. I believe that's the first receiver to go off the board, but cannot guarantee that. David Bass. Pittsburgh takes Braden Harris. Jason Osgood. And Frank Thomas. Okay. Alright, with our 2nd first-round pick, we're technically now like our 4th because I keep trading back. We're going to take left outside linebacker Malik Morgan. Normal dev trait, 90 acceleration though, 84 speed. Hopefully he can help our defense out a bit. Washington takes Kyrie Vasher. Denver takes Jalen Parrish. Joe Crompton is a Bill. Jerry Green is a Lion. He was actually one of the ones I was looking at because it showed he was climbing boards, but I felt like we didn't really need a strong safety. I feel like our safeties are okay. Stephon Warner was another one I was looking at. It came down to who was faster. And Kai Potter is a Bengal. I was considering Kai Potter with that 19th pick, but I'm not a huge fan of taking running backs in the first round, personally. And Frank Potter goes next. Green Bay takes a tight end. Tennessee takes another running back. Lions take Kenny Allen, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. I really feel like wide receiver was not the need for you, Dallas. They take Dontrell Davis, safety out of Clemson. And the Super Bowl champion Chiefs take Quan Haywood, wide receiver out of Florida. And the Lions, with the first pick of the second round, take Dennis Darby, right guard. Okay, with our first pick in the second round, I'm looking at Pat Brigance. Always looking to intercept passes. Motor is always running hot. Often looks to rip the ball from runners. Typically avoids getting flagged. He's 6'2", 201 pounds. Runs a 4.4 240. Was first in vertical. Was first in broad jump. Fourth in 3-cone. We don't know any of his coverage stats, but I'm going to go with Pat Brigance. Hidden dev trait. And then we pick again in 6 spots, and if they don't take Floyd Bryan, the wide receiver out of Harvard, I will. Goes Grant Adams, as long as the Bears don't take him. Alright. Floyd Bryan, welcome to the Texans. Normal dev trait, really, I'm not going to lie, I figured winning FCS Player of the Year or whatever would give him at least a star dev trait, sort of like the Heisman. But, I mean, normal dev trait, not horrible. I know we're pretty stacked at receiver, but I'm not going to lie, I based solely on the fact that I thought he'd have a hidden dev trait, and he doesn't. So, we'll have to see how that works out for us. Okay, and at this pick, I'm looking at Ross Freeman. A, impact block, B, pass block power. We don't know his run blocking, but he may be a really good player to either keep in the wings or even start immediately. And another hidden dev trait. Okay, so we're having a decent draft so far. Okay, so with my first pick in the 3rd round, I believe, I'm looking at Tracy Kitchens, a right tackle. He has A, injuries, C, pass block finesse, C, run block finesse, and C, run block power, and B, impact block. Let's take him. Normal dev trait. We'll have to see how actually good he is, but he may be forced into starting considering we traded Marcus Cannon. And with our other pick, I'm going to take Garrett Barnett. We don't know a ton about him. It says his strength is solid. Let's see, where is that bench press? 32, so it's 7th in right guards. B, impact block, B, pass block. He has D, injury, which is a little concerning, but we kind of need depth along the O-line. With our first pick in the 4th round, I'm going to take Dante Jett. Yes, I'm going to take another outside linebacker because I really think linebacker is probably our weakest point on defense. He has great speed, good strength. For skills, he's got C, awareness, A, man, B, pursuit, so he's a decent coverage linebacker, I believe. Alright, I don't know too much about this running back, but he's been here for the last couple rounds. We're in round 4, pick 23. He's a round 2 to 3 projection. 4.52 speed, so he's got solid speed. His jumping is apparently elite. For skills, we know his juke move is a D, spin move is a C, stiff arm is an F. F, catch in traffic. Dude, what can you do? Never mind, we're not going to take this guy. He does not translate well. If you can't juke and you can't stiff arm, what the hell are you? Alright, so instead of taking that running back that I didn't know wouldn't be able to do anything, we have Josh Favors, a middle linebacker with 4.54 speed, so he has really good speed. Skills, he has C catching, C finesse, C power move, and D zone coverage, so he won't be able to cover worth a shit, but hopefully he can, fit well on this defense. 88 speed, 87 acceleration. He's probably going to be a project guy, though. Alright, with our first pick in the 5th round, we have Zach Gregory. who has F block shedding, which isn't great, but he's the fastest left end in this draft. He has a decent 20-yard shuttle, and he ran a 4.68 at his pro day. So, yeah, we're going to go Zach Gregory. Once again, probably a project player, but what really are you going to find in the 5th round? All right, and with, I believe this is our first pick in the 6th round, I'm going to take Harold Crawford, a defensive tackle, B finesse move, D play rec, which isn't great, but I don't know why they give impact block, C impact block, but he had 33 reps at the combine, which was 3rd, and 35 reps at his pro day, which was 1st, so welcome Harold Crawford. All right, with our second pick in the 6th round, I have Philip Worth, a left tackle, who had 33 bench reps at the combine and 33 bench reps at his pro day. And he has D pass block, F run block, C run or pass block power. He's obviously a project and just some more depth along the O-line. And Jarius Williams finally goes to the Cleveland Browns in the 6th round. All right, our last pick in the draft, I'm looking at defensive tackle Levi Hawkins. I know you probably see that F tackle. What I see is 1st in bench reps at the combine and pro day. So, once again, a project player, but that's kind of what the late rounds are for, especially when I don't know a ton about this draft class. All right, so let's take a look at our draft class. First, we have Joe Spitzer, quarterback out of Clemson. I did change what he wears in games. I gave him the arm sleeve and the coach band. I think I also changed his face. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, went ahead and changed a few things about Joe Spitzer, but not his ratings, and I didn't look at his depth chart or anything like that. So let's take a look at these ratings. 89 throw power, 83 deep accuracy, 83 medium, 80 short accuracy, 75 awareness, 76 throw on the run, 75 under pressure, 75 play action, and 70 break sack, 80 speed. What are his traits? Personality is intense, balanced QB style, oblivious sense of pressure, that's not great. Conservative forcing passes, predictable player, balanced penalty tendency. Then we have our other 1st round pick, Malik Morgan, who is a normal depth trait, obviously, 74 overall. 75 tackle, but that is apparently affected by his morale right now. 78 hit power. Where's that play rec? 70, 79 pursuit, 57 zone coverage. All right, don't put him in zone, please. Pat Brigance with a hidden dev trait, 73 overall, 90 speed, 64 man coverage, 77 zone. You might be a better safety. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see how you work at corner. I have you for a few seasons, so. Floyd Bryan, a 69 overall receiver with 87 speed, 89 acceleration, 80 catching, 82 catching traffic, 77 short route, 68 medium, 71 deep, 92 jumping though. Ross Freeman, our most likely backup center, 69 overall with a hidden dev trait. 87 strength, 69 run block, 75 pass block, 75 run block power. We may actually have to make him start so he can get those 500 plays, so I can figure out what his dev trait is. Right tackle Tracy Kitchens, 64 overall. Probably not going to be starting, or I wouldn't want him to start, but he might have to. 59 awareness. That is probably the only thing that is making his rating that low, because everything else is decent. He's got his awareness up. Garrett Barnett, our backup right guard. Okay, what's tanking his rating? Because he doesn't look that... Oh, that's 61 lead block, probably. I say everything looks good here. He even has more awareness. Now to our 4th round pick, Dante Jett. 71 tackles, 70 hit power, 84 speed, 89 acceleration, 67 play rec, 52 zone coverage. So yeah, he won't be playing a lot of zone. This is definitely like a rushing defensive end, right? Yeah, he's a speed rusher. Josh Favors, middle linebacker out of Washington State. 88 speed, 82 tackle, 58 block shedding. So if he can get you, you're going down. Problem is he's got to get by your blockers first. Zach Gregory. Zach Gregory, left end out of North Carolina State. 67 power move, 57 finesse, 59 block shedding, 81 speed, 80 acceleration, 83 agility. Harold Crawford, a 62 overall defensive tackle out of Louisville. 87 strength. Yeah, he's definitely a project. 58 block shedding, 57 power move, 66 finesse, 77 tackle. Phillip Worth, the left tackle, I hope that doesn't have to play. 85 strength, 61 run block, 63 pass block, 74 run block power, which is good, 72 pass block power, so he's strong. Which is how I kind of drafted late in the draft on linemen. Levi Hawkins, our last pick in the draft, a rookie out of Wisconsin. 88 strength, 61 block shedding, 65 power move, 62 finesse, 69 tackle, 67 play rec. In all, I don't feel this was a horrible draft. Obviously, it could have gone better, but at least we got a hidden dev trait quarterback, defensive back, center. So we got 3 hidden dev traits, so I'm not too upset by that. But now let's go see how some other people ended up. First thing, RJ Holcomb, the quarterback out of California. Also has a hidden dev trait. 95 throw power, but he's a little less accurate. So we'll obviously these two, RJ Holcomb and Joe Spitzer, will be linked pretty much their entire career. They went 1 and 2. That always happens. You always compare those two players. And we'll see how he progresses in Detroit. But then you got Kenny Cohen over in Philadelphia, who went 6th overall, I believe, with 92 throw power. Also a hidden dev trait, by the way. 92 throw power, 81 deep accuracy, 71 medium, and 81 short. So these 3 quarterbacks, however they develop, will be interesting to see. Now let's see who the best player in the draft was. George Norton, the defensive back out of Memphis, is an 81 overall, 94 speed, 81 man, 77 zone. That is a generational talent at corner. The Giants, I think, got a pretty good one. Followed by Dontrell Davis, who was taken at the end of the first round. Who's the highest person not taken in the first? Tevin Dobson, defensive tackle that Philadelphia took. Let's take a look at all the quarterbacks that went. Paul Wheeler in the 3rd round, 58 overall. DJ White, who went in the 6th, is better than him. Parker Hayden, who went in the 5th, is better than him. Then we got RJ Holcomb. Then we got Chandler Olsen, Joe Spitzer, Gordon Stafford, who went to the Bengals, Peter Nash, who went to the Browns, obviously Kenny Cohen, Caleb Seary, it was the other quarterback that was projected to maybe go in the 1st. He ends up as a 63 overall. And then Jeremiah Graham, a 63 overall. The fastest player that was drafted, Kyle Owens. I actually looked at him. I'm wondering what his ratings are. 70 overall. I could have actually taken him, and he would have been pretty good for us. How did Jarius Williams end up? A 66 overall with 89 speed, 62 stiff arm, 73 trucking, 67 strength. So he wouldn't have been bad to take that late, but he definitely was not a 2nd to 3rd round pick, I feel like. So I want to sign some free agents, but I kind of can't because I have negative $110,000 in cap space. Mainly due to the Deshaun Watson contract, I believe. I'm trying to see if there's anyone that I can get rid of here. Maybe Murray? That'd free up a little bit. Yeah, he's my backup strong safety. There's Eric Murray and Lonnie Johnson. Yeah. I can go ahead and I'll trade away Eric Murray. Let's see what I can get for him. Well, after going through all the teams, no one really wants him, so I'm trying to find a team with a need at strong safety that is above the cap, because EA has this problem for some reason where teams are just always over the cap if you try to trade them somebody. Chargers are one of the only teams over the cap. They don't need him. The Panthers probably need him, but have negative $10 million in cap space. Okay. I'm just going to cut him. So now we at least have $4 million in cap space. Let's see if there's anyone else we can get rid of, because I want to bring in some undrafted free agents, because we're not going to be good anyway. So I can bring in some undrafted guys to try to, figure out what we have in some of these guys. Okay, so I know I said I did not want to do this, but I kind of have to. There's really no one else on the team that I can get rid of. The only other person that's a decent cap saving is Laramie Tunsil, and I feel like a left tackle is a bit more important than a wide receiver 1. It kind of hurts to say that, but it's kind of true. And the only team with any cap space that could take him is Seattle. So I'm going to ask Seattle for a 2nd round pick and see if we can get Brandon Cooks gone for that. I probably could have got a 1st for him, but I didn't want to kind of cheat the system. I know he's been traded for a first-round pick before, but now we have $56 million in dead cap this year, but now we also have $17 million in cap space. So now I can sign some free agents to help round out this roster a bit. So DJ Chark, congratulations, you're wide receiver 1 right now. All right, first person we're bringing in is quarterback Alex Norton, who has 90 throw power, 75 short accuracy, 73 medium, because I always kind of like to have a developmental quarterback on the roster, even if it's on the practice squad. And I feel like he kind of provides that because throw power already at 90, and I can improve the accuracy a little bit. Hopefully he never has to play this year, but if he does, at least we can throw the ball short. All right, for our next signing, we're going to sign rookie running back Cameron Glass out of Texas with 91 speed, 90 acceleration, and, you know, a good few other traits. 82 juke move, 73 break tackle. He's not really going to run anybody over with that 63 trucking, and I think he has like 50 awareness, but we'll go ahead and bring him in. So the next one we're going to bring in is rookie wide receiver out of Syracuse, Reggie Simon, who has 95 speed, 93 acceleration, 79 catching. He cannot run the short route or the medium route that well, but he's got 76 deep route. So we're going to bring him in, at least give him a shot. We're also going to bring in undrafted rookie out of Middle Tennessee State, Dominique Ivy, with 85 speed, 90 acceleration, 77 pursuit, 70 play rec. And yeah, like I said, I want to bring in a lot of these type of guys because we're not going to be good this year, so I can use this year to try to find some future anchors of this team. Next up is rookie out of South Dakota State, John Bonds. 88 speed, 69 zone coverage, 66 tackle, 72 pursuit, 90 acceleration, 55 play rec. Not great, but he is definitely going to be a backup. Wide receiver John Ross. There's no risk to bringing him in, really. 96 speed, 95 acceleration. He's got a good deep route running as that rookie we brought in, so we're going to sign him as well. Alright, we're going to bring in a backup free safety of Rodney McLeod, 74 overall. He has the highest play rec in free agency in the free safeties right now. 80 speed, 80 play rec, 77 zone, 68 tackle, 81 hit power. So Rodney McLeod will come in and be a backup. And then last but not least, I'm going to bring in Jason Verrett. 90 speed, 82 man, 86 zone, 59 tackle. The only thing that's going to concern me is that 67 injury, but hopefully he just doesn't get hurt. That's our prayer this season. And I lied. We're going to bring in one more free agent, Donald Parham Jr. I think right now in real life plays for the Rams. Got 84 speed, 81 catching. He's definitely more of a receiving tight end. I don't think I can actually see his jumping on the screen. If I did, I overlooked it. By the way, 67 overall, and he is 6'8", so we're going to bring him in. Okay, so obviously there is no draft class yet, but I have hired all the scouts for the positions of need that I will be going after in the next draft, starting with defensive back, then defensive end, middle linebacker, the tackles, and then wide receiver. And that, I believe that's actually Andre Johnson, like the former Texans receiver, so I kind of like that we have him. But yeah, we have him scouting all the receivers to hopefully get our next wide receiver 1. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed episode 1. I'm actually not going to be playing any of these games. I will simulate and watch them. So in the next episode, we will watch probably all the drives that include Joe Spitzer and at quarterback for the preseason. And then we'll simulate the rest of the games. I just want to see how Spitzer does with the offense and, you know, move around the depth chart a little bit. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will talk to you guys next time.